Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next video in my series of my top 10 Transformers that I own. This one's going to be for number 4, and as you can see here it is Transformers Combiner Wars Voyager class Silverbolt, leader of the aerial bots. So yeah, really cool figure. And so yeah, let's get straight into this. Here he is in vehicle mode. As you can see, he's basically modeled after the Concorde plane, jet, whatever you want to call it, and it's pretty cool. Like, you know, white, good bits of orange, and some little bits of red and black are the primary colors. We've got a landing gear here, which you can flip up. It just pulls out here. Very nice. Underneath, yes, like a lot of jet transformers, you can clearly see torso, arms, legs folded up here, and so it kind of looks like, oh, it's just a kind of plain shell on the back of a transformer. But I think it folds up just enough to where it's not a massive problem. I think it's pretty cool. You can adjust this fin at the back if you want to, but it's mainly just for transformation that it can fold down. So that's nice. You get some nice details here, like the kind of thrusters on the back, Autobot logos here. The nose cone can actually tilt down like that, which I think was a feature on the Concorde, that it could do that. It's not really there for anything specific. It's not really a part of transformation. But yeah. Other thing is these are the two things that you basically get with it in terms of accessories. It's this gun and then this kind of shield-like thing that put together make the combiner weapon. But there is another use for it, and that is that when you have them together like this, there's two peg holes, and there's two peg holes on this. You just attach both of these in here like so. And it also has a landing gear on it as well. Whoops, this back bit actually came out. No idea what just happened there. But yeah, let me just adjust this so it goes in. So yeah, this shield bit actually has a landing gear on it as well. So it works just the same, but it just has a giant gun sticking out the front. It's not the best storage for a weapon, but it works. You know, the landing gear feature is actually pretty nice. But definitely the vehicle mode is the kind of least interesting part of this guy. Let's transform him into his first other mode, and that's robot mode. So the easiest thing to do with this is to just tilt this fin either way. You can go left or right, and then you just basically take this whole front section, it's on a double hinge, tilt it back. Very easy. Then you take this section here, you can see it, just pull it out, it just tabs into the arm here, and then you tilt it to the side, but there's a tab here that just is going to basically tab into the side. It's not a strong connection, but it's just enough to kind of keep it there. And you just do the same on the other side. So, you know, that's basically the plain shell kind of all folded up pretty nicely into a backpack. Then you just basically move the hands out of the way here. You fold the legs out and tilt them out this way. Very easy. Then what you do is you just get the feet, tilt them around like so, and tilt the heel section out, and then you close this little panel here. Do the same on the other side. Yep, there we go. Same, close it, and there's his legs done. Fix the arms, all you do is you just tilt them down, straighten them out. And he's basically done here, and then all you do then is you just kind of open, basically, sorry, it's off camera. What you do is you get this red section here, and it just tilts forward like so, which allows you to tilt the head up, and then you just tilt it back. And there you have Voyager Silverbolt in robot mode. Let's adjust the camera to get this guy in frame. Pretty big, so that's a plus. And yeah, pretty cool. Apologies for the white background and a generally white transformer. I think you get the general gist of what he looks like. Looks pretty cool, you know, like for a guy who's the torso of a combiner. We'll get to that in a minute. He looks really cool. You know, you've got the Autobot logo in the middle, some nice silver details here on the red chest, nice orange paint for the torso. It has a nice robot mode torso for sure. Yes, there's a little bit of a backpack with all the kind of plain stuff folded up here, but it's not awful. Like, I think in general it transforms just enough to where it's like, it's not a shell transformer and stuff like that. It folds up very nicely here on the back. Yeah, look at this head sculpt. Actually, the head sculpt is really cool. It's very square, but it looks pretty cool. It's got a kind of stern face on him, very clear blue eyes, no light piping, but like, you know, silver face. It looks pretty cool. There's just some of the detail on the back. But yeah, let's deal with articulation. The head can look up, can't really look down, only a tiny bit. Can swivel all the way around. So basically you have everything you want in the head. So that's pretty good. Ratchet joints, really loud ratchet joints. So I'm going to actually do this. Really loud ratchets, so go all the way around. Arms go 100, completely 90 degrees out. That's really nice. Again, loud ratchets. Elbow. It looks from the kind of pattern there like it is a ratchet joint, but it's not really. It's more of like it locks into place like that because the arms become the combiner mode kind of thighs, so it locks straight, and then you can go 90 degrees. So pretty nice arms. And then nothing in the wrists because of this transformation joint here. You can sort of have them move out a little bit, but then it makes them look really bad. But not too bad, you know, they're not really restricted because it's a combiner torso and stuff like that. There really was no way for them to fit in a waist swivel, so I really can forgive it for that. Legs come 90 degrees forward. There is a thigh swivel all the way around. You've got basically a double jointed knee, only restricted by the fact that there is a pretty large backpack, but you can basically get all the movement you want out of the knee. So that's good. It's double jointed, and if there's enough space, you could get everything you need. The feet are on a swivel joint because of the transformation, so that's good. They don't swivel side to side, just front and back like this. And if you really need to, you can move the heel down a little bit to kind of maybe get some extra stability in those modes. But for the most part, that's Silverbolt in robot mode. And the way you use his accessories in this mode is that you separate them, and so you basically use this side like a kind of shield type thing, and I suppose it's kind of meant to be a small gun as well. And then on the other arm you have the weapon. Again, they just peg into the sides or in the hands. So there's the hand, or you can peg it in at the side, whichever way you want. I just tend to go with it with the hand. It's a pretty big gun, but he's the leader of the aerial bot, so it makes sense that he has a bigger gun. But yeah, looks really cool. You know, he's got basically all the articulation he needs. Maybe he at some like ankle tilts would have been great, but for the most part you can get the kind of wide stances that you need without him really falling over. He's quite stable. The backpack isn't too much of a problem in terms of making him like back heavy. Like you can see here, he's tilted back a little bit and he's still not falling over. Even then, like I'm pushing him, it takes a good bit to actually make him fall over. So super high quality from basically the newest Transformer on my list. This one's probably out in store shelves right now for most people. But from there, let's move on to the mode you're probably all waiting for, and that is the torso mode, and I'll attach some of the limbs on as well. Now let's see, where do we start from robot mode to combiner mode? First thing we do is just, I suppose, put his Silverbolt head away. That's the easiest thing to do. Then you get the arms and just tilt them up into the air, straighten out the Silverbolt arms. Then what you do is you take the hands and tilt them all the way back, because as you can see here, it's basically going to be orientated like this. These are the thighs, the legs will plug in here. Now, in terms of what we do here, we keep the backpack the exact same, and we just put the feet away. You have to open up the panels at the back of the legs, and we put the feet away, close them again. Then, what we need to do is basically have, you know, these bits tilt to the side like so. You basically get the legs out to the side. I'm almost losing track of what I'm doing here, but yeah, this is what you do. You have to have the panels sticking out like so, basically like they are in vehicle mode, like they're locked in like that in vehicle mode, except what you do before that is you actually basically, the only way to really do this effectively is to grab basically the antenna here. You can sort of see it. And you pull out the combiner mode head from the center. So you can see there's a lot of stuff going on right here in the center. And then you basically just tilt this around. There's a little peg here in the back. Move the antenna up. Peg here on the back, and it's going to plug in basically to that little gap there. And there's his head plugged in, and you just adjust the antenna so they go up. They're bendy plastic, so they don't stay in place too well, but over time they'll gradually kind of even out. Then you can see what you're going to do. You're going to fold these two bits over, but before that there's this nice bit here where you just tilt this Autobot logo section up and it fills in more of the torso. Then you get these two bits and link them together. Just make sure you get them overlaid correctly so it comes together effectively. And there you basically have him. There we go. There's the torso mode. The last thing you do is just you get in the shoulders here, flip these black sections down, and that's it. That's the torso mode right there. Looks pretty cool, especially the head sculpt. And because he's going to be so tall when I put the legs on him, I'll just address what, Silverbolt in terms of his combiner mode just is. So you see it's got the same backpack as the kind of robot mode had. But, while Silverbolt was orientated this way, there's Silverbolt's chest, his head would be here. For combined mode, you flip him upside down, so the arms are the legs, and then the Silverbolt legs kind of flip around so that they form the torso, and then in the center bit of the thing here contains both the Silverbolt head and the Superion head. So I just think it's really cool engineering on this guy. Autobot logo just here on the side, and just some really cool detailing, a lot of white paint here. Really put some nice details on him. Looks very cool, but obviously, of course, you have to add on the other bits. Now, I only have Wave 1 of Combiner Wars. Wave 2 hasn't come out here yet, so unfortunately that means I have to use one Decepticon limb, and that's a dead end. So I just use him as this leg here. And the way these things peg on is that each of the deluxes has one of these bits that basically flips out of their torso. You just flip it up, and then this bit's on a spring, and you just basically fit it in and slide it in, and it's a really nice connection. I'll move the camera back in a minute, it's just going to be awkward for a minute. I use Alpha Bravo as the other leg. So there we go. There he is standing up. Again, I'll adjust the camera in a minute. I use Firefly here as the, the left arm. And then we use Skydive as the right arm. And let me just move this thing back now for a second. So I'm going to have to handheld the camera here for this mode. Let me just adjust the light a bit so you can see him better. So yeah, look how big this thing is. I can barely fit him on my table effectively. It's really big. For an example of the size, here's a deluxe wheeljack next to him. So yeah, really big. You can see the one leg is the size of, obviously it's a deluxe. It's so much bigger, like especially up here at the torso when it's a lot bigger. It looks great. Looks fantastic overall. So we'll move Wheeljack out of the way. And it's just a really cool thing. Like, again, it's going to be hard to film this effectively. The one negative I would have just about the proportions of Superion is that the thighs end up looking a little bit small. But the way I fix that is with Skydive. This is the gun you get. And there is actually a port in the side here. And I just like to attach the gun onto the side here. And it just bulks out the leg a little bit and gives a place to store one of the weapons. The other aerial bot in Wave 2, which is Air Raid, comes with a white version of this same gun, so when I get him I'll plug that on here and it'll make the thighs look a little bit better. But just in general, Superion makes an amazing combiner torso. I only have kind of some of the smaller combiners, so this was my first like big-ish combiner, and I think it looks fantastic. Silverbolt really makes this figure, so I think this is a wonderful figure, and I would recommend anyone to buy this thing. I think it's fantastic. You know, if you like combiners, definitely Silverbolt is the best one. That's the best torso that's come out so far. The limbs are really cool as well, but just Silverbolt really sold me on the Combiner Wars kind of whole playstyle. Sorry about the light, it's just really sunny outside, and to actually have enough light but also film effectively, it's really hard. But yeah, that's been Combiner Wars Voyager Silverbolt. And yeah, that's my number 4 pick. So if this guy's number 4, the top 3 must be really good. My number 3 probably will surprise a lot of people, but it's a figure I absolutely love, but we'll deal with that in the next video. And then we're into the top 2, which probably won't surprise a lot of people. But anyway, that's been the video. Thanks for watching this video, and bye.